Hey everyone, Board Game Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new copy of What Next? It's the newest big potato game that is a board game storytelling game mixed with a party game. What Next is kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure game with party game elements known as mini-games that are connected to the story to see if you successfully achieve an action in the story or if you fail it to go down another path. The game comes with 3 different modules, all with different stories and adventures. Now, so that I don't spoil them all, I'm only going to show you one of the 3, but the other 2 become more complex, but are not connected together in any way, so players can play any of the 3 without needing to play a certain one first. Anyways, here we go with Drums of Koala Cave. You can read the introduction in the rulebook to set the theme, or you can scan this QR code and watch the animated introduction on their website. Each module will come with 3 different decks of cards. Location cards, which will be the main source of the story, will include text and the options that you might take. These are numbered but have a card on top and bottom to not spoil the fun. Event cards are placed next. These are the cards that will explain what mini-games are needed to be performed and what happens when fulfilling or failing those games. Lastly, the item cards will give you special abilities or actions to make it through events to get through the story. Players will take turns by reading a location card and then following its directions. Sometimes it's a decision, while other times it might show this symbol and a number, letting you find that event card and perform in it before finishing the location card's text. The same active player will perform the event, but whenever a new location card is drawn, then it will be the next player's turn. Each module includes a dial, which is randomly spun to an icon at the very beginning of the game, and each time a new location card is drawn, the dial is spun clockwise to the next icon. For this module, whenever the sun is present, you will read the light side of the location card, but when the moon is shown, the back side or the dark side of the card is read, giving a different outcome. This will cause the game to be different each time that you play. So you might be thinking, okay, so what's so hard about this game? Well, let me explain the Tower of Peril. This is the make or break part of the adventure. Whenever a card shows a skull icon, the player reading the card must add a peril piece to the Tower of Peril. The first 2 pieces are placed to form a base touching each other, but after that, all other pieces will need to be placed on top with no other pieces touching the table. All pieces always need to be placed side to side and not twisted like this. Each time you add a piece, it's locked in and can never be moved. If any piece falls from this tower, then it's game over. So hopefully you are making choices during the game to minimize the number of skull icons. Also, check out the shapes of these pieces. It can be possible to stack these up very high, but it takes some very serious skills to do so. Players will take turns, and if you manage to reach the end of the adventure without the Tower of Peril toppling over, then you win the game. If not, try again, and maybe a different path will lead you to success. What else would you want to know about this game? Well, let's talk a little bit about the mini-games. These mini-games will be different throughout as you play, as there are more than 60 different challenges, but many of them using the same type of components. The shape building will use these blue tiles and most likely will challenge the current player to use these available pieces to make a certain shape within a time period. This would most likely fit with building things within the adventure, or fixing objects, or entering codes. The yellow tiles are used for the item search games. These pieces are placed inside the bag, and the players will put their hand in without looking and try to find a specific shape matching a shape shown on the event card. In this game, players will have until they pull out 3 incorrect pieces, also placing those pieces back into the bag each time. After 3 incorrect pieces, then you fail. The puck push is used in the adventure to climb walls, to push objects, or to run toward things. You will place the puck on the back dark blue part, and you will flick it trying to place it on a specific range shown on the event card. You get 3 practice flicks, but then you need to state, "This is the one," to determine the actual attempt, and then you will flick and see if you're successful or not. Those are the core mechanics of the minigames, but there are other random games that will present itself during the game. I just don't want to spoil them all for you now. But really, this game is great. It's a fun adventure game with mini games incorporated into it. You probably won't win the first time through, but if you're like my 6-year-old daughter, you'll most likely want to play it again right after playing it for the first time. Hopefully you remember what happened with some of your choices so that you can make different choices, letting you add less stones to the Tower of Peril. It's great that the game includes 3 different modules, and I definitely can see them producing more without a huge added expense to you if you want to add on and play different modules later, and if you already own the base game. I think with time, we will need to have some more mini-games added to this game, or use the components in these games in a different way to keep the game enjoyable. But the stories are great, and just like a choose-your-own-adventure book, you will go back and discover better choices to finally finish each module to the end. If you are a fan of big potato games, then you will definitely be in for a treat with this one. It keeps the things you like about their games, and then adds it into an actual board game. For me, this is their best game yet, and would love to see them keep comboing their fun and crazy ideas with some more strategic mechanics to get a great game that will also make you laugh and have fun. So pick your path in whatever adventure you choose to play with your family and friends in What Next by Big Potato Games. Again, this is Board Game Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.